It always comes to this. Hey there guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. No doubt you can already see what this one's going to be about, but I'll just get to it. I had a pretty good session today, about I'd say about 4 hours, maybe 4 hours and 10 minutes or so with Terry this morning. I had been talking a little bit about doing some gray in between the roses and the thorns and stuff to break it all up. We didn't want to use white. That was the main thing that I knew. I didn't want to use black, Panthera black, because there's a lot of black, there's a lot of white in the design of the tattoo already. So I feel like that would be a little congested. So my idea was always to find a way to pull things apart. Now, I wasn't exactly sure. We were hemming and hawing about what we were going to do. Terry originally thought we could just do white. And I was like, well, I mean, we could try it, but I don't think it's going to make much of a distinction. My idea was to use some smoke silver, but I've talked a little bit on here about, since my suit is becoming more and more colorful, and definitely will be more colorful in the near future, I've talked about even making the roses red eventually, but I'm not ready to do that yet. And now I don't know if I will or not ever, but like I wouldn't be doing that right away because like the main elements I want to be black and white on black for now. And we can play with color, but I'm not at the point where I want color everywhere yet because I don't have it in enough of the places I'm putting it yet. So like, for example, when I get my sleeves done, it will make more sense for my neck to be pretty colorful. But now I've got the chest piece underway, and so we're kind of building in that direction anyway. So, and for separating these elements, I feel like a dark red was the right call. It was actually Kevin's idea, the guy I do Remy reacts with. He came over here just talking about finding a way to kind of push these out, and we finally got to the day when we were going to do it, and it was his suggestion to use like a real dark red. So we used what's called red velvet. We were in between pomegranate red and red velvet, but we went with red velvet in the end, and obviously it came out really cool. Now, the idea is this is going to darken even more. This is what it looks like fresh. So quite often I'll do these videos a couple days after the session, and they've already settled in a little bit. Like all this stuff will have settled in when I'm showing it off, and I'll be like, okay, well, it was when I did it, it was fresher. It looked brighter. So this will mellow out, but the idea isn't for it to be super punchy. It's the same kind of thing as what I did with my armpits, where you just want it to be a tone different. You want it to be different tones to kind of pull things apart, right? So our goal isn't for this to be super vibrant red. The goal is for it to almost be a red-black as time goes on, so that it's just enough that these don't look like it anymore, right? So that it separates. Pretty much everything I'm going to be doing going forward is going to be playing with ways to push out the front or push out the foreground. I look at my torso work as an example of, I know I'm going to need to get back into that eventually and do something similar, whether that be with the background or the foreground. So the idea I'm teasing right now for that is, obviously, since we're doing color on my chest, we'll probably do, like in the tentacles on my chest, we'll probably do something similar on my stomach eventually. Well, we definitely will. But I wanted to give all that stuff a long break. I've got it where it's actually staying now and things aren't changing. They're not falling apart. They're not vanishing on me. So that's a good time for me to obviously go hit the chest, and then we'll probably finish one of my sleeves or both, and then we'll get to the torso again, the lower torso. We'll start pulling things apart. Still learning. Like, there's still so much learning that goes on with this every week. So I was not planning to do my neck background in red, but now that we've done it, it's like, yeah, I'll probably do that in more places. Not just with red, but with other colors. There'll be all kinds of things going on. I've joked before, but like, there's going to come a point here, because I'm not done, I'm not even close, where a lot of people aren't even going to recognize this as a blackout project anymore. The people are going to be confused when they see the old, and they already are. Like, a lot of people don't understand how this is possible, or if we're doing some crazy thing. But there will come a point here within a year or two where people won't see this as a blackout tattoo. That's not just me saying that, that's just reality. This will never be associated with black and gray. It'll be like a full color, or not black and gray, with blackout. It'll be like a full color black and gray fusion type thing. All the white on black is going to look like a weird stylized black and gray, and all the full color stuff you would never assume to be done over blackout. Just as an example, this piece that I just got done is healed, and it healed exactly like I said it would, by the way, and I like it more the way it looks now. I like it more after it's settled in. So this is fully healed now, or at least it's going to actually look even a little bit more punchy, because it's got that filmy kind of glossy look to it right now. So in about a week or two, that will be even more prominent than it is. But that stands out from across the room. You can see that anywhere. The whole chest is going to be done like that. So all of this is going to get bordered with that black, and it's going to pop out more. As you can see, as these vlogs go on, these are coming out more, as I said they would. This has been a week and a half now. This is 2.5 weeks. This one had some trouble healing, as I mentioned. Every part of the chest is it's going to look as punchy or punchier than that, because parts of the color are going to be done twice, and it's going to stand out a lot more. Now, same thing. This red, like I said, it's going to dull out a little. Right now, it's super prominent. It may be even too prominent for some. So there could be some people who are like, oh, you're ruining it or whatever. I don't know what quite to expect from some of the people on YouTube on this one. It's definitely a big change, but I like it. That being said, it's not going to stay this dramatic, so it won't be as defined or distinct as it is. And obviously it's swollen right now too. Now I'll say we went all the way up under. We saturated basically my entire neck. So we got going, and Terry even said, he's like, I didn't realize how much work was in this until I started. You know, we did one side. It took us about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Then we came and we did the other side, and it took about an hour and a half-ish, something like that. So once we got going, it got quicker. But yeah, there's a lot of work in there. It looks, what I was going to say is it looks a little bit better than the chest does in ways right now. And I'm full admittance of that. But that's partly because it has supporting structures. So it's bordered with white and black already. This color isn't so much. There's none of that darker black in here. Where there is, it stands out as much. So like that being healed, I'll be happy if the red looks something similar to that in terms of its saturation and its brightness. So not a huge goal to hit. Yeah, we brought the red way up into the chin here. I'll get close. Now, as I've said before, chins bleed a lot. Chins and foreheads bleed more than any tattoo spot I've ever had. There's still one part of the chin here that isn't super solid black, and I've had it blacked out. I don't even know how many times. Like, I think it's like 4 or 5 times. It's just hard because whenever it bleeds, you lose some saturation. So I'm expecting the chin to be less solid red than the black. But the good thing, or not than the black, but then the rest of it is what I mean to say. Sorry, I've got tattoo brain still. Like I said, I had over 4-hour session, and then I worked the rest of the day here. So what I meant to say is I don't expect that the chin black or red will stay as red as all of this, because whenever you bleed, you lose some of the ink, or at least if you don't get it in solid enough, you're going to lose some of it. So I expect it be a little bit patchy in the red on the chin, That doesn't mean I'm going to need a second pass, though. I don't think I'm going to do a second pass on the red. I mean, if I do, I don't need to. So I want to preface that. If someone wants to quote me saying I wouldn't and then I end up doing it, I may end up doing it just because I want to or for fun, or I don't really ever want to stop getting tattooed necessarily. So there's always going to be something to work on. That being said, this doesn't need to be bulletproof either. It just needs to be a tone different to separate the roses. I was annoyed that this centerpiece of my throat wasn't standing out as much as I wanted it to, and now it does. So that was the main one. These ones on the side were standing out better, but the one in the center was pretty lost. So just from shadowing, and it's kind of tucked in there, and I wanted to kind of pull it out. This gives a lot of depth to it. So Terry and I were talking while he was tattooing me, and now obviously I've talked about Terry's going to do my fingers again, and we're going to dot in the knuckles. I believe I covered that in another video. But another project that Terry and I will be working on in the new year is when he seen me take my shirt off today, he said, "Man, your back really needs to get blacked out." And I said, "Yeah, it does." I agree. I'm not a negative space guy. My back has a lot of negative space. So Terry is going to black out my back. I think we're going to do it 4 sessions. That way we can take it slow, and there's some spots on my back that connect to the front, and they need to be handled a little bit delicately. Same thing if I plan to black out my ass tattoo, because I have my full ass tattooed. That also will need to be handled with some care, because there's some stuff that tucks into the front from those pieces. And I think that if we did it, say, upper left, upper right, lower left, lower right, and then 1 session later for skimming, like touch-ups, I think that would probably be the approach. And then I can get that done while Rick and I are focusing on the front. So I trust Terry's black saturation. He's not the best black worker or anything like that, but I think that he's pretty proficient at putting ink in. I think he'll be able to do the job. And if we take it slower, he can kind of touch things up as we go as well. So I think 4 sits, 5 sits is pretty reasonable for big black back. And I could see us getting up to that over the next few months. I don't know what will come first. We're also still planning on another pass on these. Do another pass of opaques. I think another round of smoke silver is going to be all it's going to take to tone out the rest of that pink there. And yeah, so plenty of projects moving forward with Terry. Obviously lots to do with Rick still, but having a blast working with both of these guys and doing different things. Anyway, we'll show this off one more time. So huge change, like huge, very big change all in one go. All right, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.